Welcome back to Rooster's Garage. Today we're changing the oil in my 2017 Toyota Highlander. Here's what you'll need to complete the job. A 3/8 ratchet, a 14mm socket. Alternatively, if you don't have either of those, you can also use a 14mm wrench, a torque wrench that can go from 9 foot-pounds to about 30 foot-pounds, a 3/8 extension, a 90-degree pick, and a 64mm oil filter housing tool. I'll leave a link in the description. It's important to use wheel chocks before jacking up the front of the car, using the front jack point. It's also worth noting that due to the vehicle ride height, you may not actually have to jack up the vehicle to change the oil. I'm just doing it here to capture everything on film, but if you do, make sure you use jack stands. I'm using homemade wheel cribs just for the extra bit of safety. Now you're going to want to place your drain pan under the plug and remove the plug with the 14mm socket. The 2GR-FKS drains straight back, so keep the pan positioned slightly behind the plug. Every time I change the oil, the crush washer is always stuck to the pan. I'm going to pop it off with a small screwdriver. If you encounter the same issue, make sure you also remove it. If you don't, it's going to cause a nasty leak. Now I'm going to take the drain plug, clean it up, make sure the threads look fine, and then add a new crush washer to it. Reinstall the drain plug with a new crush washer, and then torque it to 30 foot-pounds. Locate the oil filter housing at the front of the engine, then using the 3/8 extension, remove the oil filter housing drain plug. If you're using an OEM Toyota oil filter, the box should include a drain tool. You're going to snap this into the oil filter housing, and then it will drain all the oil from the oil filter housing. When the oil filter housing has been drained, you're going to want to grab the drain tool and pull straight down to remove it. Fair warning, it is going to be pretty tight, but it'll come off with some force. When it comes out, it typically takes the O-ring with it. We're going to replace this on assembly. I very loosely install the housing drain plug, just keep track of it. Next, we're going to use the 64mm oil filter housing tool to remove the oil filter housing. This engine uses a cartridge style filter. Once the housing is off, we're going to replace the old filter and replace the O-ring. Now remove the old filter by simply pulling it out. One of the advantages of the cartridge style filter is you can look at the actual filter media to make sure you don't have any metal shavings and just check the overall health of your engine. This is the part number for the oil filter and O-rings. Now we're going to remove the O-ring using a 90-degree pick. Lightly coat the new O-ring with fresh oil. Then install the O-ring, making sure it sits in the correct groove. Install the new filter by just popping it into place. Thread the housing back into the engine by hand to avoid cross-threading. After getting the oil filter housing hand tight, use your torque wrench to tighten it down to 18 foot-pounds. Now I'm going to remove the oil filter housing drain plug that I lightly installed to replace the O-ring. First, we're going to lightly coat it in oil. Install it into the groove. Reinstall the oil filter drain plug hand tight. And then torque down the drain plug to 9 foot-pounds. Next, I like to go through and just clean up the oil filter housing with some brake clean and also the drain plug from the oil pan. Now up top, remove the oil cap and add your 0W20 engine oil. The oil capacity for this engine is 5.8 quarts. I usually start by adding 5.5 quarts and then topping off after checking the dipstick. Now reinstall the oil cap and start the engine to check for any leaks. Now that we've confirmed we have no leaks, we're going to put the vehicle back on flat level ground. Jack up the vehicle using the front lift point. Remove your jack stands, or in this case, the wheel cribs. Once the vehicle is on the flat level ground, we're going to check the engine oil. It's somewhat difficult to tell in the video, but we're right in between the min and max portion of the dipstick. So I'm going to go ahead and add the remaining 0.3 quarts of oil. Now that the oil is changed, let's reset that maintenance light. First, put the vehicle in accessory mode by depressing the engine start button 2 times with your foot off the brake pedal. Using the buttons on the steering wheel, travel to Settings, then Scheduled Maintenance, select Yes, and then press the OK button on the steering wheel to confirm. And that's it. Your 2017 Highlander with the 2GR-FKS is all set with fresh oil. If this helped you out, drop a like and subscribe for more DIY repairs. Thanks for watching Rooster's Garage.